Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, Bessie.
Good morning.
All right, what is your dream?
My dream about my husband passed away this year in March 23rd.
I'm sorry.
And about 4 days later, I had this dream. My dog was barking. And I went to the door to let him in. And once he passed the sliding door, I heard someone outside. And so I went out in the backyard. My son was carrying a conversation. He was just laughing. But I never could see who he was talking to. And then I woke up.
Well, this is kind of a typical kind of dream that we have when death is fresh in our psyche, especially someone we loved, we lived with, we were intimate with, that is with us really in one way or another for all of our lives. And so when you are dreaming of a dog barking, what is a dog? A dog can be a protector, and usually man's best friend is a protector. It can be a pack animal, and therefore it can be very aggressive. It can bite. It can, hurt you. So a dog is and in Jungian work, it can be sort of an announcer, announcing something, almost like a connection to the underworld, like an announcer to death, to someone that's crossed over. So it seems to me that this dream, because you open the sliding door, again, you're changing states.
The threshold, right?
Threshold, crossing a threshold, you're outside. Your son represents you, the younger you, the younger, more aggressive or assertive you, because the male part of us is the doer part of us, and it's more assertive. So when we dream of a young male, we have to think of that part of us that was stopped from developing when we were young. And so this dream tells you that a younger, stronger part of you, for whatever reason in your development, was squashed when you were young, and therefore is vulnerable. And with your husband's death, of course, there's a huge vulnerability. And there will be for a few years. And so this is speaking of your vulnerability, your feeling of weakness in relation to the loss of your husband. But it also talks about your trying to connect, crossing that threshold, changing states, and now you hear voices between your son and someone else.
He's laughing.
He's laughing. So it's going back to that dog. What does that dog represent in your dream? A protector. You're not alone. But I do want you to do some homework. Think of who you were as a young boy. What do you have in common?
Or a young woman, but
the boy in you. What that's the power in you that was squashed at that stage of this young boy.
And Bessie, does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. It does.
Okay. All right. We won't elaborate because we know that can be very personal. But Bessie, thank you very much for calling in this morning.
Do some homework on that, the son and what you have in common, and at that age, what power in you was squashed.
That you can bring to light
that
now
you can
and take your own power.
That's exactly right.
Pick back up where you had left off.
That's right.
All right.
And that's your dog.
Yeah. All right. Euthene. Good morning, Euthene.
Good morning.
And what is your dream?
I have vision. I envisioned a car accident. I knew that it would be 4 of us in the car. I only saw 3 faces. When the accident happened, the 4th face was my niece's baby. I didn't know who she was. And I always dream of swimming in muddy black water. And it's always the person that swims with me always passes on. And it's always a house, a big house that's uncompleted.
Okay, so lots of symbols there.
Yes, I want to ask the last 2 symbols again. There's a big house
that's not completed.
And then just before the house, What did you say that you were, the man had what?
I'm always swimming
You're swimming
with someone in muddy black water.
right. But
And
did he
that
have,
person always passes on.
always has his what?
Always passes on.
Oh, passes on.
Yeah.
I thought you said he
Yeah.
had his arm.
Yeah.
Okay, so he passes on. This is
Every person that she swims with in those
So-
muddy, dark waters passes on.
This is just showing you the collective construct of our dreams. This is what we're dealing with this day, and this group has come together for this. So when we are in muddy water, water is the unconscious, but when it's muddy, we can't see. So the unconscious is trying to talk to you, but you're not wanting to listen. Whatever is in there, you're not dealing with. And so it's muddy, it's cloudy, you can't get a view of it. But you have a partner in that unconscious that you're not prepared to really see, and that partner is male. Again, the dream is talking again about not taking your power. If you could see that partner, you would have to think to yourself, what do I have in common with that partner? That person swimming with me. So were there any characteristics that you can recall about that person in the muddy water swimming along with you?
That was my sister's husband at the time.
Yeah. What did
Okay.
you find in common with your sister's husband?
Yes.
We both enjoyed having fun. He was just a fun-loving person. He was
Okay.
kind-hearted.
Okay. So this is a part of yourself that you have pushed away for some reason. A stronger part of yourself that you've disowned. That's why he dies in the unconscious. That's why the water is muddied. It's something you're not wanting to look at. It could be an attraction, a sexual thing, whatever it is, you don't want to look at it or are not prepared to look at it yet. Now you reach the shore and you see a house, and the house is incomplete. Well, the house actually represents your emotional world. That's what the house really represents. So that it's incomplete is totally in keeping with your dream, that you're afraid or not ready to look into the unconscious yet. And when we started this conversation, you talked about visions. Sometimes when people are especially gifted and they have a gift, they're already opened. For what reason, I don't know, but they're already opened. They repress that because many times our visions are things we don't want to see or don't want to know about. But many times they're precognitive, as your vision evidently was. So that makes us afraid of that stronger part of ourselves and going in.
Yeah.
So I would work this dream. I would, what you need to do is integrate, as all of our dreams have been about today, the stronger part of yourself that was disowned with your softer side, so that you can take your power and take your gift.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, sometimes it's hard. Like even going into therapy is hard because it like rips the Band-Aid off of some stuff and you have to
Very hard to
face
go.
things. I always say you can run away from your true self, but your true self will meet you at the finish line.